Leo was a bright, determined student with dreams of making a difference in the world. He had always been known for his intelligence, but he struggled with one thing: accepting criticism. He often felt that when someone pointed out his mistakes, it was an attack on his character. This defensive nature made him reluctant to open up to feedback, even when it could help him improve. One day in his Georgia high school, Leo's teacher, Mr. Matthews, assigned the class a project where they would critique each other's work. Leo worked hard on his project, determined to create something flawless. When the day of the presentation arrived, Leo felt confident that his peers would have nothing but praise. When it was time for the feedback, one of his classmates, Sarah, gently pointed out some areas where Leo's project lacked clarity. Another student mentioned that he could have expanded on a particular section for better understanding. Though the feedback was constructive, Leo's chest tightened, and he felt his face flush with embarrassment. His first instinct was to defend himself, explaining why he made those choices and dismissing the suggestions. Mr. Matthews noticed Leo's reaction and decided to intervene. After class, he asked Leo to stay back for a conversation. "Leo, I can see that you're passionate about your work," Mr. Matthews began, "but I also noticed that you had a tough time hearing your classmates' feedback. It's normal to feel that way, but learning how to accept criticism is one of the most important skills you can develop." Leo sat in silence, still feeling the sting of the comments. I don't like feeling like I'm wrong." Mr. Matthews smiled. "I understand, but think of it this way. Criticism doesn't mean you're wrong or not good enough. It's an opportunity to see things from a different perspective. It helps you grow." Leo nodded but still felt uneasy. "How do I do that? How do I not take it personally?" "Start by listening without the intention to defend yourself," Mr. Matthews explained. "Instead of thinking about how to justify your work, ask yourself if there's truth in what's being said. Even if you don't agree with everything, there might be parts that can help you improve." Over the next few weeks, Leo tried to adopt his teacher's advice. He began by asking his classmates for feedback more often, and instead of defending his choices, he listened carefully. It wasn't easy at first, and sometimes he still felt that instinct to push back, but he reminded himself that this was about becoming better, not about being perfect. One day, during another class project, Leo presented his work again. This time, when Sarah offered her feedback, Leo responded with, "Thanks, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way." Mr. Matthews, observing from the back of the room, smiled. Leo was beginning to understand that criticism wasn't a threat to his identity, but a tool for self-improvement. As time passed, Leo's attitude toward criticism shifted entirely. He became more open to hearing different perspectives and realized that by listening to others, he could refine his skills and ideas in ways he hadn't imagined before.